Hey, it's your girl Maya, and today's video is based from Genesis 4, and the title of this message will be Mercy and Accountability. And upon reading the story of Cain and Able, and most of us know the story as Cain killing his brother, his younger brother Abel, because of him being angry that he was accepted by God, and his offering was accepted before God over his own. And if we jump down to verse 7 of chapter 4, I'm reading from the New Living Translation, it says, "You will be accepted if you do what is right, but if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master." And what I've learned just from that little bit is that it is easy to find ourselves to be offended or upset or disappointed when God promotes someone else over us, when God fulfills the promise or gives someone favor over us. But a lot of the times we're not receiving the promise because we missed the mark. Sometimes it's not even our time, but instead of rejoicing with our brothers and sisters in the Lord and making the necessary changes or corrections or simply waiting for our time, we find ourselves being disappointed, and that disappointment or that anger turns into offense. And this is where the warning comes from. God, before Cain sins, he is warning him to be careful, because sin is lying at the door and it seeks to control you. But we have the power. Just because we are tempted to sin does not mean that we have to follow through with those temptations. We have the power to acknowledge the temptations of that sin and overcome it. So that is one thing that I've learned. And then as we go down, we realize that Cain had the opportunity to deal with his feelings, but not only did he sin, but he lured his brother into a field, and then he killed his brother. And then when God came and asked him, "Where is your brother?" he first responded and said he does not know. How arrogant and how prideful is it to lie to the Lord? This rhetorical question was not a question that really needed an answer, because God already knew. But what was the purpose of asking Cain, "Where is your brother?" It was an opportunity for Cain to confess his sins and to take accountability for what he did wrong. At no point in the account of Cain and God conversing about this matter is Cain remorseful or repentant of the sin that he has committed against his brother. But another thing that I have also realized is that Cain forfeited his opportunity to repent, to confess, and to be accountable for his sin before the Lord. But he says, when the Lord responds and said, "Because you've done this thing, you will be cursed by the ground." And Cain responds and says that this punishment is too great for me to bear. And that's from verse 13. And verse 14, it says, "You have banished me from the land and from your presence. You have made me a homeless wanderer. Anyone who finds me will kill me." And so the greatest punishment is not anything that can happen to us, anything that can be taken away from us, not even death itself. The greatest punishment is to be banished from the presence of the Lord.